Each night the audience would be filled with dozens and dozens of veterans, many of them coming back night after night to relive their experiences through the actors and participate in the very, very emotional post-show discussions after the play. It was extremely powerful and one of the great experiences of my creative life. I'll never, ever forget it. The time spent with these veterans, along with my wife's two brothers and a brother-in-law who is also a Vietnam veteran, left a lasting impression on me, and I have stayed involved with veterans ever since. This was early 80s. 10 years after directing the play, I was lucky enough to land the role of Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. Having spent so much time with Vietnam veterans, I knew I was well prepared for the role, and as Lieutenant Dan might say, it almost felt like it was my destiny to play this part. These moments are rare for an actor. So many good things came from this film, but I'll never forget getting a call from the disabled American veterans offering to honor me for my portrayal at their national convention. I'll never forget the emotions I felt when I received that award, standing in front of thousands of these veterans, some on one leg, some in wheelchairs, all standing, those that could, and applauding me for playing a disabled veteran. I wasn't prepared for the emotion that I felt when I walked out onto the stage. I actually came down through the kitchen from a hotel room up above, and I was standing behind some doors, and I heard my voice loudly on the video screen. They were playing scenes from Forrest Gump. I didn't know what was out there, and then they announced my name, and I walked out onto the stage and got this massive ovation and could hardly speak. I'll never forget that. Winning an Oscar could not have meant more than that. From that moment on, I've stayed in touch with members of the DAV, helped to raise money, done PSAs, and even gone back to their national conventions with my band, the Lieutenant Dan Band. In fact, I'll remind you, if you get a chance tomorrow night, we are playing a benefit concert for the Fisher Houses at the Washington Convention Center, the auto show. We're there at 6 p.m. Proceeds from the tickets go to benefit the Fisher House. So if you can, come on by, spread the word. The Fisher Houses are tremendous for our wounded, and the Fisher family has done extraordinary work in building these homes. I've been supportive of their work ever since I did my first tour to Iraq and got involved with them. After September 11th, once our service members began to deploy, I knew I had to do something to support them and their families. Having known so many Vietnam veterans and remembering all too well how they were received when they returned from war, I wanted to do my part to make sure that that never happens again. One of the many hard lessons we learned from our involvement in Vietnam is how not to treat our service members. They serve freely, and they should be shown appreciation and respect always. Their sacrifices are many, and they need our support. In the last 3 years, I've been on over 20 USO tours with and without my band and have visited our wounded in the hospital several times. Each time I visit our wounded, I'm struck by their humility, their courage, determination, their acceptance, and their dedication to our country and their fellow warriors. Lending a hand, excuse me, lending a hand to these brave men and women is truly one of the most rewarding things that I have ever done. And I know that they don't have to do this work. And I'm grateful that we have people like them who want to volunteer to defend this great nation in military service. They don't ask much, knowing they are not forgotten and that their sacrifice is appreciated can make a world of difference. And as these veterans face a life for which no one can prepare, so must their families and friends. And so you can see why, when the foundation asked me to sign on as their spokesperson, I was all too happy to accept. This memorial, to honor all our disabled veterans from all wars, will pay special tribute to those who have given so much of themselves and to the families who love and care for them. Their heroic devotion is a source of strength for those striving to heal. Freedom is so precious, and those who protect it and sacrifice for it deserve our highest praise and thanks. For the first time in our nation's history, we will build a tribute to some of America's most courageous heroes, our disabled veterans. The American Veterans Disabled for Life Memorial will celebrate these men and women who may be broken in body, but never in spirit. The Disabled Veterans Life Memorial Foundation was created in 1998 through the combined efforts of philanthropist Lois Pope, Foundation Chairman, Arthur Wilson, National Adjutant of the Disabled American Veterans, and the late Jesse Brown, former Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Formed as a 501c3 nonprofit, the Foundation's sole objective is to raise the estimated $65 million in private funds needed to design, build, and permanently maintain the memorial. The memorial will command an impressive location adjacent to the National Mall and within full view of the Capitol building. The memorial's proximity to the Capitol will serve as a constant reminder to America's representatives of the true cost of conflict. The National Capital Planning Commission recognized this when it noted that the memorial will serve as a reminder to legislators of the human costs of their decisions concerning military action, as well as the need for health and rehabilitation of those injured in defense of our country. The memorial's powerful meditative design was conceived by Michael Ferguson, Landscape Architects. Michael is here with us today. Michael? There he is, right here. Thank you, Michael, for your thoughtful and beautiful design. The design concept was approved in 2004 by the Commission of Fine Arts and the National Capital Planning Commission. The focal point of the memorial will be a star-shaped reflecting pool, its surface broken only by a single eternal flame. I have heard Captain Leslie Smith, a retired disabled veteran from the Bosnia conflict, often talk of the star representing the 5 service branches: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Dedicated to both the living and the deceased, a setting of unity or solitude, the memorial will hold a special place in the hearts of all Americans and will serve as a never-ending reminder to all of the cost of human conflict. Transcending conflicts, service branches, and generations, the American Veterans Disabled for Life Memorial will express America's lasting gratitude to the men and women whose lives were forever changed in service to our country and in the cause of freedom. I'm honored to speak on behalf of the Foundation's efforts to get this memorial built. These disabled veterans live with the scars of their wars every day, paying tribute to their sacrifices is long overdue.